Hey, so how's it going? It's Jasper. Welcome to the very first video of this channel, a channel that's going to be dedicated towards the One Piece trading card game. We're going to be doing a lot of live unboxing, a lot of commentary, gameplay, and all that kind of good stuff. So if that's something you're into, stick around. We're going to be doing a couple of practice rounds, so if you notice any misplays, any feedback within the gameplay or the video itself, you can leave them in the comment section below. But yeah, let's just hop right into the video. Alright, welcome to game 1. Now, as Blue Croc, our game plan is just to go as wide as possible in this matchup, just because we want to be able to pressure life, so when Big Mom does get dropped, we're still in that position where we can go for a game. Now, Senmori on curve will help out that plan a lot. The only problem is if Katakuri sees too many bodies out of life, that's going to be hard for us to deal with, just because we can't bounce more than one creature at a time, and we don't want to be using our leader effect that often, especially in the early game. Now, opponent is deciding what they want to play after swinging for 5. I take that pretty easily, just because. And opponent drops the Cracker, which has a huge threat potential just because that double attack. Now, we don't want to be taking too much life, especially since we don't have that much card advantage. So we don't want to be throwing out cards too often. Now, Senmari over here is searching us a Pacifista. We're just going to be scrolling through our deck and seeing what we have in life. I think we have a couple of 2Ks and an event, which is always good to see. Now, we do bring out that Pacifista, probably swinging for 6 and playing down that blocker law. Now, jump blockers are going to be pretty important in this matchup just because Katakuri does like to swing tall, so we want to be able to block out of the text that we can. Sanji does come out of life, which is pretty unfortunate, but as long as we have our Sentomaru, I think we'll be able to keep up that pressure. Now, opponent's looking to swing 7 here, looking at the top of their life. They're going to leave it on the top, I believe, and I think we're just going to block out of the attack here. Now, opponent coming at us with 6 to lead. We're probably going to take that just because we know we have an event in life and we don't have any 2Ks. So any triggers from the events would be really helpful in this situation. Now, opponent passes turn, and we're going to be on our 7 Dawn turn, which is going to be pretty big because we can go 3 on our Sentomaru to find another Pacifista. And then we can go for another body. So over here, I think we're just going to swing into that Cracker just because we don't have a way to deal with it at the moment. So yeah, 5 goes into Cracker and he lets it go. So that's huge pressure off the board. We're going to go 6 into Sanji. Just try to clear it out. And now we're going to look for our Pacifista. We're probably going to be looking for a 6K Pacifista because we already have a couple of blockers in hand that we can play with our 4 Dawn up. So we're probably going to drop the Kuma after this. Yep, it does come out here. And now we have 4 bodies on board, which is looking really good. We do have another Pacifista in hand, so if Kuma does get KO'd, we are still able to keep up that pressure. So over here, our opponent does swing 8 into, I believe, the Pacifista. We're debating if we want to block, and yes, we do, dropping the Kuma. Sanji swinging 6 into that Pacifista. I think we're going to counter out of this one. And opponent dropping that Randolph. Now, opponent passes in. Now we're on our 9 Dawn turn. Ideally, we do want that Mihawk in order to bottom deck that Randolph, as well as putting a 9K body on board. But we don't have one, so we end up using a 3000 worlds to get rid of it. We can use that 4 tap Dawn in order to bounce the Sanji, and I think that's what we end up doing. Now, with 5 Dawn up, we're able to use 3 to search out a Pacifista with Sentomaru, and then use the other 2 to swing for 7. So that's what we're going to end up doing, and we are looking for a blocker of Pacifista here just because we ran out of the vanilla ones. Now, with 2 Dawn up, let's see how I decide to attack here. We could go 7-7-6-5-5, and I think that's what we end up doing. So the first 7 goes out, and debating on the 7, I guess we end up going 6-6-6. I think the idea behind this is I want to burn the 2K counters to set up for lethal next turn, because we might be seeing Big Mom being dropped next turn as it is his 10 Dawn turn. So getting a Parasparrows out of life, not a big deal considering our board is established already. We do end up swinging for another 6 with leader, and this is a huge turn for us. We were able to get 3 life out of this one turn. Now if opponent does end up dropping 10 Mom, we're still going to be in a fairly good position just because of our established board. And we do have a couple of red rocks in hand, so no matter what he's playing out, it's getting sent to the bottom of the deck or back into hand. So we're in a really good spot here. Now, opponent swinging 8 at Pacifista, so I decided to block out with one of my blocker, just because we don't have the counter for it. Now this turn I do plan on protecting the board with the rest of the cards in my hand just because we do have lethal on board. Now opponent's going to go 8 at one of my pacifistas. I end up pitching 2 cards and another 7 at my Centaur, which I don't mind. So letting that go and passing the turn. So over here, I believe we can just bounce with leader ability and just end the game that way because he only has 3 cards in hand, 4 including the one from life. So if we do end up bouncing with leader ability, we'll have 3 Dawn left, which is perfectly enough to go 7k 3 times and 5k with leader. So I think that is what we end up doing here. But our opponent does bottom deck it and none of us catch it, so he is missing a 1k counter in hand. But we're going with the first swing of 7k, he does take it, another 7k, and the last 7k should take the game. Alright, so this is going to be the end of this video. We're going to be posting a lot more just like this, so if you're interested, please stick around. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.